Howdy again, everybody. Welcome back to RVCCISinfo. In this episode of the channel, we're going to pick up where we left off in the previous example by transitioning from talking about the actual camera that you would use to do the recording for your vlog, your videos, your presentations, etc. And we'll talk in brief here about what video editing software is available to you to use so that you can continue to do that on whatever device it is that you chose to use. So without further ado, we'll pick back up with the previous video on video editing software. So now that we've got cameras out of the way, let's circle back around and we'll come back to editing, right? Because very probably you're going to make mistakes, or I'll speak for myself. Every time I have done a recording, I have made a mistake. So whether or not that mistake is long pauses, whether or not that mistake is, cussing, whether or not that mistake is using the wrong word or anything of that nature, pretty typically you'll want to be able to at least go back in there and remove some of those issues. If you have an Android phone, now remember all of these are going to be in the comments below so that you don't have to furiously type your way around figuring out where to find some of these links to. They will be in the video description below. If you have an Android phone, Steph, is there anything you use to do, or have you used it to do?
I downloaded, I tried Otter. I wasn't a huge fan of it. I don't know if you've heard of Otter. And then Anchor, but those are mainly for um,
Yeah, podcasts.
podcasting. And then I just use the video that's with the Pixel phone.
Hmm.
So I just go to the camera and use that. But that's if I'm just recording video.
Okay.
Because sometimes when you do a lecture, you use your PowerPoint, but that's in a little bit.
Hmm. So what I would say, I totally agree, is the Photos app that's baked into your phone has a video editor, and that typically lets you trim off the front and the back. So if you're saying something like, and legitimately I do this before I start recording anything, I'll just look into the camera and I'll say something like, chapter 5, section 2, record, and then a big break. So that way, if anything is happening that's going wrong, I can catch it. And when I edit down the video later on, because you get like a really terrible video name, right? You get like a timestamp for when you took the video, or 421.mov. It doesn't really tell you anything about what your video is. So I always start by saying what the video is. But on your Android phone, there are two pieces of software that most, like vloggers or people who do it on YouTube would recommend for both capturing the video and editing it down. One is called KineMaster, so it's Cinemaster with a K. Again, link below. I've used that and it's okay. There's another one called Filmic Pro. I actually use that here on my iPad. That one's better. Both of those are going to have a low cost of entry. Both of those are like $5 and $7, which I don't think is killer. But that will help you edit the front and the back of your video, which is a start, but also any place in the rest of your video where you have a long pause. You can go remove those. Where you made a mistake, you can go remove those. Where you answer a phone call and have to come back to it, you can remove all of that. And both of those, KineMaster and Filmic Pro, allow you to do that. On the iOS side, there's actually a really capable program built right in. It's called iMovie. iMovie is also available on the desktop as well. It is free. It is a free download. So if you take my advice and purchase a $250 iPad, you can download iMovie. You can record using the camera app and then go right into iMovie and make the cuts at the front and the end of your video, make the cuts in the middle of your video to remove long pauses, swear words. I leave them in. And everything else. I do it in the classroom. They may as well get it on the video. So iMovie is a really great, tool to be able to use. The other one I really highly recommend, I actually use it to edit down these videos occasionally, is called LumaFusion. Again, you'll see the link for that in the description below. I got it on sale for $20. It only happens once a year, usually around Memorial Day. But with everybody working from home, I'm hopeful that they will have other sales. LumaFusion is far and away the video editor of note when professionals do video editing and audio editing on their iPad. It is a phenomenal program. It has a very short learning curve to get just the basics done, and I cannot recommend that one enough. Between iMovie and LumaFusion and an iPad, not a Pro, just a regular everyday baseline iPad, you have a really, powerful video production machine already.
Yeah, I just looked it up. It's $29.99 right now.
Yeah, and I'm trying to look when I bought it. April. I got it in April. So it was on sale then, but I've been keeping my eyes open for it for months and months. But at $30, I'll tell you, because nobody's paying us to make videos, right? They're paying us for the class time, whatever that means. And if we're producing all of these supplementary videos, that's a value add from our students' perspective. I feel like that adds value to me as an instructor for my students in and out of the classroom, but I am not being reimbursed for that time. So that $30 investment, as far as, well, I made a $20 investment, but even at $30, I would happily pay $30 if I didn't have it today, so that I could make the quick kinds of edits like that. It allows you to drag and drop in things like titles and transitions and themes. It's fantastic. So LumaFusion is something I really highly recommend. On the Windows side, Steph, what do you use to do the?
I broke down and bought the Adobe subscription, and so I have Adobe Premiere Pro, but I'm still kind of fumbling my way through it. So before that, I used Screencast-O-Matic, and I used the free version. And I'm a big believer of, if somebody has a good program and they offered some sort of subscription and gave me a discount, so I bought it for like $50 for a year. So I thought, what, I've used this so much, and I was just gonna. I've been doing the subscription on that too. And that one, it does have an editor built in. My strength is not in editing at all. So if I spent a little more time on it, you can put captioning and it will auto caption, but you need to go in. It's like YouTube. You got to go in and edit it because it doesn't do a perfect job. And then it does have some minor editing. And I haven't played with editing in the middle of my of my videos yet. It's more towards the end or the beginning.
So what I'll say, and it took me a while to discover this, but you always hear it when you listen to, professional YouTubers. That's a thing. I still find that to be a weird thing. Actually, my wife's cousin is a professional YouTuber, and I'm so old that I'm like shaking my fist at the clouds, because there's no way that's a real career, but he's got a real career out of this. So Tyler, good for you, buddy. But when you hear professional YouTubers say, what they do to edit their videos, this is something that I discovered also, and I wish I'd have heard way earlier, was don't edit your video by looking at the video. Edit your videos by looking at the audio. Because if there's a big pause, it's going to be hard to just scan over the video to see that, but you'll see it instantly when you see the waveforms, even if you don't know what they mean. I don't particularly.
Yeah, but you can see the line, I suppose.
Yeah, but you can see the line. And when there's this big dip that happens in there, that means there's no sound happening. So like if you're going to do a take two, like we had to at the beginning of this video,
Right.
there's just a big pause like that. And that'll make it really easy for me to go back through later on, locate where that pause is and cut it out if I need to. So I don't edit by looking at the video at all. I edit by looking at the audio first. And all of the solutions we've talked about here allow you to do that. And it's a super easy tip, but it saves a ton of time when you're editing later on. Um, so outside of what do you pay for the Adobe subscription? Did you just do the video one, or did you just do the single?
I applied for the supplemental and I
There you
got it.
go.
$249 or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm. For educators, I think that's right. $249 a year, which I still think is expensive. I do use also the Adobe products, but not as often because I'm not on a PC as often. But I actually suggest for most of us that, especially if that supplemental instruction funding has already dried up or is already closed for the year, rather, my suggestion is, and I will put the link to this here in the video, there's a bunch of really good free or freemium, right? So the ones that start free and then you have to pay for them later on. The two that I would suggest that come with free versions, like totally free versions that you would install on your PCs, you would use some other means to capture your video, although they will capture your video too. I actually suggest still using your phone to capture the video because it's going to look the best and it's going to sound the best, and then transfer them over to your PC later on, because that's going to be the easiest way for you to edit these if you don't go the all iPad route. Don't do it because I told you to. Do it because it's smart. I know Stephanie has an iPad and refuses to do this. She's like, no, I want to. Oh, you did? Never mind.
I gave it to somebody that would use it because I had a pen and an iPad and it was just sitting there. And
okay, that's
like
smart.
Somebody should use it. Yeah. So it's in chemistry now.
There you go. That's way better. There's two softwares I would suggest to try from the list, although there's a list of, it's from Gizmodo. It's an article from only just the beginning here in June of free alternatives to Final Cut Pro, which is actually what I use, a $300 piece of software that I use here on this Mac, and this one that's doing the recording now. The two of them are called Shotcut and VSDC. Both of those do exactly what you're looking for. You'll be able to import the video. You can trim, which means just to cut a line through the video portion and the audio portion. You'll cut your line through there. You'll cut another line. So if there's a big pause, it makes this big valley, right? You've got waveform here, you've got waveform here, and then there's this big valley in the middle with nothing. You can cut that out, and then boom, away goes that big pause. Or you can cut out at the beginning of the video where we had our first take and our second take, and you can add those, or you can remove those rather, and then boom, they were never there. And both of those pieces of software, also free pieces of software, allow you to export your finished product in a format that is YouTube or like Eagle friendly if you wanted to go that route.
So the cheapest route is use your phone.
Absolutely, because it's already something you have. So if you've got your phone and your laptop or your desktop, that's an investment you've already made. Go for it.
And then the second cheapest is to buy an iPad.
The cheapest iPad, yeah.
And then even it's still cheap to get that $29.99. What is it? Filmic Pro?
LumaFusion is the $30 software. I really do suggest iMovie on the iPad does a really fantastic job, but it feels crazy to be able to sit on a couch or sit outside on, the deck and just be able to, in 5 or 7 minutes, cut down a video and have it uploaded to YouTube. It feels pretty fantastic. So I wholeheartedly endorse that.
And then for me, well, and I guess you can do it on the Mac too. When I want to have my PowerPoint and talk on top of it, that's when I use Screencast-O-Matic.
Right. Or we will put the link in the description here. Way back on the other side of history in March, we have, not to this, our RVCCIS.info channel, but over on my Wolf Teach Tech channel, I put out a bunch of videos on how to get videos uploaded to YouTube in as short a process as possible. And those videos actually contain, and remember, you can look down below for the link to that. Those videos actually have how you can use PowerPoint to record your whole screen and audio and actually export that to YouTube when you're done. So there you have it. We've got multiple different ways for you to be able to record, edit, and export your vlog, your lectures, your PowerPoint presentations, whatever it is, from a wide variety of different devices. And again, you can remember to go find all of that below in the comment section. While we're at it, do remember to like and subscribe, or comment as well, so that you can be also hit that little bell button, rather, so that you can be made aware of any and all of the new additional content we put out here. There's going to be other videos here. I've got a series here on using an iPad as a replacement for a desktop. We'll have a series here on using your iPad to do video editing. We'll have a series here on how to use, whatever video editors from your Mac and your PC as well. It's all content. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and hit that bell button. Go ahead and hit that like button so that you can be made aware when we get new content out to you guys. All right, great. Thanks, guys. This has been RVCCIS.info, and remember to stay safe and stay sane out there.
Thank you.